So let's see if we can go from stiff to splits in about 8.5 minutes. Start in child's pose. A couple of moments here to simply drop into the earth. Just let your body release and connect to your breath. And breathing in through your nose and right back out through your nose. One more big breath in. Empty out and rise up. Tuck your toes, hips back, downward facing dog. So immediately just start to stretch the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And ground your hands down and forward and see if you can draw the hips back just a little bit more. Thighs, knees, shins back. Soften your heels. Lift the right leg. And knee to chest, right foot forward. Release the left knee down. Untuck the toes. Inhale. And when you exhale, half split, draw the hips back. Flex your right foot. So make this active. Inhale, come back to lunge. Drop your hips forward. And when you exhale, draw your hips back. Flex your foot. Again, deep breath in. Huge breath out. And breathing here, lengthen the chest forward and then drop down. And keep your hands up by your right foot. That's going to get that stretch in the back of the right leg. And then inhale, chest forward, exhale, release. Back to a low lunge, breathe in. Tuck the back toes, downward facing dog, breathe out. Left leg high. And step it through. Release the back knee. Exhale. Inhale back to lunge, just that active stretch again. When you exhale, draw the hips back, flex the left foot, toes towards the kneecap. Again. And drive the hips back. Do one more round, breathe in. Empty. And then take a couple breaths right where you are. All right, truly see if you can allow this to be just right where you are. No need to force any stretch. Come back to lunge. And downward facing dog. And right leg to the sky. Send it through. This time keep the back leg straight, pyramid. And back to a lunge. So as you lengthen out the right leg, pull the right hip back. Yeah, back to lunge. Again, pull your right hip back, drop your head. Back to lunge. One more time, just breathing. Really draw your right hip back. Notice where you can drop in a little more, let go. And come back to your lunge, up through a Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Yeah, left leg, reach, send it through, exhale. On an inhale, start to move towards pyramid, hip back, and then exhale, drop into the lunge again. Right, 2 more times. Again. And pull your hip back. Right, breathing. And continue to pull the left hip back so your hips are the same distance from the front of the room. And then step it back, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Really draw the hips forward, lift the chest, and then exhale, down dog. This time, bend your knees, look forward, step, float, however you want to get to a seat, and all the way down onto your back. So lengthen out your legs straight, feet together, arms up overhead. Belly button to spine. You're going to lift opposite leg and arm up. But see if you can let everything else ground down into the mat. So you don't need to lift your shoulders. In fact, try not to lift the shoulders. You don't need to bend your knees. And in fact, keep your legs straight. press out through the heels, engage. And just exhale every time you lift a leg and arm. The idea is not necessarily to touch your toes with your hand. More important to keep the legs straight, keep your arms straight, relax your shoulder blades down. And just let the exercise meet you where you are today. You might find yourself getting closer and closer to your foot or being able to touch your foot eventually. You might not, right? I don't know. Just exhale every time you lift a leg. See if you can focus on that. And big stretch, breathe in. Hug the knees in, breathe out. Take a couple of rocks forward and back. And just find your way through a vinyasa and back to downward facing dog. And if you want, you can come straight back to down dog. And from down dog, right leg high. Step the foot through. And release your back knee down. And so climb your hands to the top of the right thigh. Let's just let the hips drop down and forward towards the right heel. Lift your chest. And then plant your hands right next to the right foot, half split. Pull your hips back, flex your foot, breathe. So from here, simply start to allow the right foot to slide forward. You don't need to force it. You just go as far as you can. And then when you get as far as you can, walk your hands in towards your hips and lift your chest up. Yeah, breathe, right? Pull the right hip back. Drop in. You might even a couple times send the right hip to the side and then tuck the tailbone to send it down, right? You just stay as long as you can. And then find your way back to down dog. Other leg, same idea. Step it through, release the back knee, untuck the back toes, climb your hands to the top of the left thigh. Take a couple breaths here to drop in so you really get the front of the right hip flexor. And you breathe. And then come through half split, take a couple moments, connect to your breath. And start to slide the left foot forward, right? Just slide that heel forward as far as it will go without forcing it. And when you get there, breathe in. Maybe a couple of those hips to the left, tailbone down. If you've got blocks, you can place blocks under the hands, right by the hips. Give or take, same as the other side. And then make your way back, child's pose. My brother's a musician, and he always reminds me, life's a journey, not lost or won. He's always looking out the window and relaxing and stuff, kind of the opposite of me. But it's true. It's just a journey. Thanks for joining me on this one. Namaste.